Romans chapter 10, verse 1, Paul says, I earnestly desire that they may be saved. This has been our church's heart and desire since the inception of our church. 2.6 million people live in this borough. As you can tell, it is a highly populated area. Our church has been on mission to seek and see those that don't know Jesus transformed by the gospel message of Christ. We also are passionate about city renewal. Some of the ways that we've sought city renewal is by partnering with schools, by making sure teachers felt encouraged, by giving book bags away to kids that are less fortunate, by feeding the homeless. Those are some of the ways that we've tried to engage in city renewal. We're also serious about spiritual renewal. And so when people come to our church, we want to be passionate to make sure that they hear the gospel message of Christ, because we believe that that's the only message that transforms lives. You know, we've had a front row seat at seeing how God can use a church to impact a neighborhood. And, you know, when I hear the stories in the church and I hear people talk about how they came to the church and how the good news of the gospel that was preached through our church has transformed their lives, really it helps us to celebrate the things that God is doing through our local church. The analogy that comes to mind is a young family that just had a child and they moved into a small apartment. And as that family continues to grow, at some point they're going to need to seek larger living space. It is the same way with our church family. We started out with a handful of people and we quickly started to realize that we needed more space. So this is actually our third location. Looking for a fourth location for us is our family continuing to grow. And ultimately it's God being faithful to Matthew chapter 16, where he says, I will build my church.
So I think without a doubt, knowing what God's provision has looked like in the past encourages us to know what it will look like in the future. This campaign for us is something that we've prayed and thought and done a ton of research towards. It's not something we're taking lightly at all.
You know, I think about that single mother that goes to our church that lives around the corner, and our church is able to make real impact in her life and walk alongside of her.
It's always a joy to grab lunch or a cup of coffee with one of the ladies of the church and just hear their heart and hear their story. I love that no one comes with fluff or comes with a facade, but come genuine and authentic. I love spending time with the women of Epiphany. I love spending time with the beloved team as we get to laugh and joke on the phone call, but we get to dream about what the Lord has for the women. And I always say I'm never thinking just 1 year, I'm thinking 5 years ahead for the woman who hasn't walked in yet, for the young lady who doesn't know Jesus yet, for the one who's brokenhearted, abandoned, neglected, that we may be a safe haven for women, that we may be a body, a community, a sisterhood that can love on one another and encourage one another, and be the voice of women that they've never heard before, be the love that they've never experienced before, and just be Christ in the flesh for them.
A young brother that came to our church full of anxiety, even dealing with depression, and our church is able to get around that brother as well. We're able to get guys into his life. The church doesn't just make an impact on the neighborhood, but the church makes an impact on individuals, because individuals make up that neighborhood.
So the goal of this campaign really is to just increase our ability to do ministry in every single way. We're putting this vision before our church and basically saying we want to do more. We don't want to be satisfied with just reaching a limited amount of people and serving the community in a limited way. We want a sanctuary where we don't have to turn people away.
With a larger building, we'd be able to be more effective in how we engage in ministry here in Brooklyn. We'd be able to increase our sanctuary space so that when people come on a weekly basis to hear the gospel, there's room for them. We'd also be able to improve how we engage with our children in our teens ministry.
We want a kids room that's big enough where the kids can play freely and not have to worry about overcrowding or bumping into each other or not being able to learn.
What I look forward to in the new building is a space for the kids where they don't have to feel like they're inside a closet. I would love to see separate rooms for different age ranges. Right now we have in a classroom from 3 to 9 years old. Those are completely different styles of learning.
You know, I think about the mother that was walking the young girl by our church, We were outside giving out coffee to the neighborhood like we frequently do. And we told this mother about our vacation Bible school. She ended up bringing the young girl to our vacation Bible school, and come to find out that she just received the young girl back because she was a victim of human trafficking. She came into our vacation Bible school one way, but because she was impacted by believers in the church, she ended up leaving a totally different way. That's just a testament to how impactful a local church can be.
So probably two things that stand out to me the most is the community and fellowship. You know, how everybody is just down for each other, man.
And I love the passion for the work. I think Pastor Brandon's goal to redeem the city is evident in all the work and all the ministries that take place here.
That from the time you walk in through the doors, you feel the love. You know that there are people who want to love on you, and let you be that individual that wants to receive that love, and the sense of wanting to help the community that we serve. And so that's what stands out to me the most, and I really enjoy it.
So here's the goal. Our church is looking to raise $300,000 by 2020. We need your help to do that. With a larger space, we would be able to do so much more in impacting our community. Our church genuinely believes that we exist to join Jesus in his mission to redeem our city. Please join us in seeking the redemption of Brooklyn.